See that sister sure look fine before she started drinking wine from the bottle. Preacher man tried to help her out. She done cussed him out, hit him in the head with the bottle. Don't y'all think it's a crime when time after time, friends of mine, they're living in the bottle. There's people living in that bottle. Hey, y'all doing? Hey, Miss 100, Bonita Peterson. Mm-hmm. You changed your name, Egyptian Goddess. Egyptian Goddess 111. At least it looks different some kind of way. And that, well, I saw something kind of disturbing, Philly melanin, and I thought maybe I could speak on it. This, if there's anything I know about in this life, is drug addiction. Pick up your copy at Amazon.com. Drug addiction, right? So the last time I was paying close attention to the beef sector, I thought that Ness No Mess had went through a whole process of getting off the streets, getting into program, getting into transitional housing, going to restart a career. I've seen these things and I've been through it. I've been through it time and time and time again. And I saw something disturbing today, so I'm going to play a little taste for you. I'm going to tell you why I think I should speak on it. Because there are other people on here also. I don't want you to be misled about this drug stuff. When you are on drugs, I don't give a goddamn if it's heroin, fentanyl, whatever drug you on. You will go and you raise your hand and you identify yourself as an addict. My name is Ness. I'm an addict. I'm an addict, right? This is when you're trying to get clean. You've identified that you're an addict. That doesn't go away. Okay. So if you go to drug program and you complete that program and you complete this program, you go get your own place, all the work you have done. Now, are you willing to throw it away? Let's see what the hell I'm talking about.
Yale is paid for in full. Okay? So just know that. I don't know.
This is from this morning. Okay.
So I got this. This is CBD with THC. It's Cloudberry Indica. $22 medical, $37 regular. Okay. Shout out to medical. I got this tangerine, sour tangerine. This is a hybrid.
This is a bag of drugs.
$17 medical, $27 regular. I got this one. He recommended Cherry Dreams. Okay. This was $22. And the last one that I got is Pioneer Square, my favorite. $22. So medical, you save money. You save at least $10, baby.
Okay, so
and that's what I like.
Okay, hold on. We're not trying to be critical here, but we do want to speak on this thing.
Let me try this one.
She got another one. She's eating one right now. So what I'm trying to say to you, Ness No Mess, if you want to go back to where you came from, if you want to go back to hotel rooms, you want to go back to bargaining with your body, if you want to go back to all the circumstances that brought you to program initially, you are playing with fire because other people can take edibles and other people can smoke weed, right? You can't do it. You can't do it because you already identified that you were an addict. Some people foolishly think that I don't smoke crack no more. Okay, so I'm not an addict because I kicked my crack habit. So I went immediately then into bags of edibles. Why would you need a whole bag of different flavored edibles? That means you're eating them a lot, right? If it was minor, then you would buy one bag of these edibles. You got a whole goddamn bag of them, over $100, right? And you're justifying that, saying, well, it's medical. That's why it's cheaper because it's medical. That doesn't make any goddamn difference. When I go to surgery, I have to tell the doctor, the surgeons, I am an addict. Don't give me anything that is potentially addictive. Weed is weed is very, very addictive. And people, they smoke it now and they chew edibles and all that kind of stuff. That's not what you do as an addict, though. When you come out of program, you come out clean. You don't start back up drinking. You're bragging about going to get your nails done now and drinking the champagne. You can't wait to get your hands on the champagne. You drink the wine, right? What happens, Ness No Mess, and believe me, I'm not talking on my ass, right? Every time I relapsed in AA, when I was doing AA back in my 20s, whatever, every time I relapsed on drugs, when did I start? I went in there at 28 years old. Every single time I relapsed, it wasn't on the drug that I did. Every single time it was marijuana or alcohol. The two things that you're playing around with. You're not taking it seriously, see? And what it's going to do is going to lead you right back to the hole where you came from, child. The whole thing, I believe, is just a matter of you still want to get high. You still want to be high. You like that high state, irregardless of what it did to you, irregardless of sleeping in your mama's backyard like an animal, all the problems that were caused in your family, the problems that were caused with your child, the breakup that hasn't even been mended yet. All of that is going to come right back, right? And on a bad day, you're going to go back to your favorite drug, right? And all it takes is one hit of crack and it's back on, honey. Junkie walking in the twilight. She's a long, long way from home. She left home 5 years ago. Y'all keep saying, kick it, quit it. Lord, but did you ever try? Girl, don't expose yourself to that bullshit. You can stop at any point. Say, you know what, God? I'm deciding I'm going to trust you. I'm going to believe and I'm going to hold on. I know a lot of people going to say, oh, you're being judgmental. You should be in judgment on my ass. Girl, you're a drug addict taking drugs. You're a drug addict boasting about how many drugs you can get because all causes medical. So I got to know from my doctor, that means I'm not a drug addict anymore. Marijuana is drugs. That's why how I started on drugs, honey. Right? And every time I went back, that's how I got started again, honey. And it always, always, always led right back to the same place, girl. Don't be on here. Don't be over here promoting drugs, right? You're not at a point, you don't hate drugs. You don't. It hasn't done enough to you yet, apparently. It's not finished with you. The devil loves to hate us. He enjoys it. What's the devil? The devil is any bad spirit, honey, on the earth. Go walk around your neighborhood and see those people sitting down on the concrete. You see them smoking, right? You see them shooting up right there on the street where everybody can see them and all that kind of shit. That's the devil, honey. God ain't never assigned nobody to be shooting needles in their arms. What y'all think? I mean, I don't even know how to broach this. I didn't put her name in the title. I'm not trying to embarrass this woman, but I think she's in big trouble. She's riding around like it ain't nothing, honey. She's riding around drinking like it ain't nothing. She thinks because other people drink, that means she can drink. No, honey. You have not accepted yourself that you're a drug addict. It's different. Damn near everybody, well, half the people I know, they smoke weed. Sometimes I used to be jealous. I said, damn, you can smoke weed. You can go and buy it in the store here now. They got dispensaries. You can go buy it, all this. Everybody smoke weed. I can't do it. It's a simple fact, right? And I've been through it enough times to know that if I I smoke me a joint today, I wouldn't give it a week, 2 weeks. I'll be right back out there, honey. I don't know how you're not aware of that since you went through a program. I'm sure you guys had meetings. I'm sure you have AA, the principles and the big book, and you have tools to work with. You said you are executive. You have a good job. You said you actually have your own apartment for the first time in many years, child. You're actually stabilizing yourself, and you're going to throw it all away fucking with weed and edibles. And we just saw the edibles. And God only knows what else goes on in your house, honey. If you're drinking, when you are drunk, you are not in the same state, honey. If somebody got some crack in the room, child, and you are drunk, do you really think you can make the decision? No, I don't need that. There's no way, honey. It's unavoidable. There's too much out there. The devil's busy. What y'all think? Who is that? Well, we're talking about Miss Ness No Mess right now. I'm sorry I have to use a name, but I just can't get into these subliminals. People talking, they don't even know who the fuck they're talking about. I'd rather just say it. And my concern is sincere. I mean, I know it won't be taken that way, but it is sincere. You're in a lot of trouble, honey. Right? So all your enemies will be gathering around to see your downfall because you're playing with fire. You're not taking it seriously. I haven't had any drugs or any alcohol in 25 years. Correct? I was what you call a hardcore meth addict. Correct? Not only did I use drugs, I sold drugs for 15 years, 17 years, right? 17 years. I went to prison 10 times, all drug charges. Every damn one of them a drug charge. You would think 1 or 2 times would be enough, but it wasn't. That's how strong the hold drugs had on me, girl. So I understand that. No, never, nothing. Nigga, I hate you. Right? Living in nasty ass hotel rooms, girl, doing whatever's available. Would I even have HIV? I doubt it if it wasn't for drugs. Because I'm telling you that your mind is not the same when you're drinking and drugging, and you don't make rational decisions. And it's so easy to fall into this shit, child. Right? That's why people be in pain. They be in pain. They be in surgeries, honey, and they still can't even take the medication for the pain. Why? Because they opiate addicts, right? And all these people I see out on the street, girl, a lot of them people, they started getting high because they were prescribed drugs in the hospital, right? Opiates. It's addictive. Let me see if y'all got an opinion on this stuff. It won't be taken right, but it is what it is, honey. I think it's an interesting conversation. I would read you passages from my book, Pick Up the Meth Monster, honey. And you will say, yeah, that's a monster, honey. You's definitely, I'm not a monster right now. I don't live in fear of getting high. I have been fortunate enough to bypass the drug thing. Never understood it. Well, you're fortunate, Nikki B. You are fortunate, right? And there are many people who can take drugs. They can drink, and I mean, there's liquor stores on what, every corner in the ghetto. People can drink, but we can't. I can't. I can't smoke no weed. I can't take no shit. If I break my leg, all I can take is Tylenol, and I will tell the doctors, I can only take Tylenol. Yes, I have a drug history. Don't give me anything that I can get addicted to. And you think the people out there will not cut the drugs with fentanyl now? How do you think it became a epidemic? Because they cut other drugs with it, and all of a sudden you have a desire for fentanyl. And you're all bent over, you standing up and touching the ground at the same time, child. Right? It doesn't make no difference how that shit enters your body, honey. You're buying street drugs. You're not buying pharmaceuticals, correct? They can put anything in there. So, okay, if you want to throw it away, Miss Ness No Mess, but prepare yourself, girl. You got to start all over again. I didn't get really seriously sober until I was 44 years old. 44 years old. I started in my 20s. Mm-hmm. Is that why you sing so bad? Yeah, that's why I sing so bad. It was the drugs, honey. Good observation, Nikki B. Mm-hmm. How y'all doing? Mm-hmm. Come up hard, baby, but not up cool. I didn't make it, sugar, playing by the rules. I've been returned to my regular self, my regular personality, right? My regular sense of humor. It's all been returned. But it was a long road, honey, coming from being Miss Jabber. Miss Jabber was treacherous on the streets. I'm just saying. It was a whole lifestyle. And God delivered me. Total surrender. Right? When he touched me, he put his hand near mine, and then he touched me. He touched me. He touched me, and suddenly nothing is the same. Mm-hmm. Delivered. I don't know what all the ways they use the word delivered on YouTube, honey, but I know what it is. It's a very real thing. God can do it. You got to want it, though. You out here buying weed and edibles and alcohol and what else you buying? Champagne and all this shit, right? You're not taking it seriously. You don't hate it yet. Wouldn't you like to be reunited with your family? I mean, it's a long road to get these things back together before people can trust you again, right? I had perfect relationship with my family members, honey, but that when I first got clean, they didn't believe me. Nigga, you've been to prison 10 times. We don't even know anybody been to prison 10 times, right? Right? But gradually, as I became more and more my regular self, people realized, no, this is real. It's done. When he say he's delivered, he is delivered. I accept God's grace. It's a very real thing. It can't happen, but you got to want it. I think if you still want to go and you still want to get high, you still want to drink, you still want to feel weed and all this kind of stuff, obviously you don't care about it and you don't want it. You don't take it seriously. Is that what's going on, Ms. Ness? No, Miss. Of course you're gonna be offended by this, but we've seen so much progress with you over the last year or two, correct? We've seen you gradually move back to normalcy. And to think that you would throw all that away just to get high, right? That shit's going to lead you back to where you came from, girl. If you don't believe me, go sit in the AA meeting and listen to the stories, right? You're not unique. You're not the first one, honey. Substitute one drug for the other. It's the truth. It is the truth. That's what you're doing. And it generally speaking, it leads back. Now, there are people who feel differently. When I graduated from Walden House, the biggest drug program here in California, I believe. After my graduation, only 2 people made it to graduation, right? Everybody else then relapsed out of the house. The director of the drug program took me backstage. Me and Dale got backstage, and he said, "Now we want you guys to know that you can drink if you want to." Now this is my graduation, my big moment, right? I said, "Dude, why did you say that? Don't say no shit like that to me. I don't give a god thing. I will never do drugs and alcohol again, right? I don't need. If I did choose to use drugs, I don't need your permission. But apparently, this is something that was required to this. What do you call it? Harm reduction. Since the program has getting their funding from some harm reduction, they thought they had to tell you that. But trust me, I know. You getting high and you're an addict. You already didn't identify yourself as an addict, honey. It's not for you. You can play with it. You play with it for a few more years if you want to, but you're not going to be advancing on your job and all that. You're going to lose that. You're going to lose everything. You know that. Everybody knows that, honey. You out there with the fellas getting high and drinking and guzzling down alcohol and all that. They can look at you and see that you go on your way down. Me as a drug dealer, honey, I've saw multiple people, girl. Right? First they lose their apartment, then they lose their credit cards, and just lose, honey. It's just part of it. Right? Did I feel guilty about it? Why would I feel guilty about it? I was part of it. Who is this here? Give me a coin. You come a long way, Tim. Mm-hmm. Sure have, honey. Sure enough. Let me see. Chapter 4, alcoholic. That's my baby. He was alcoholic. That's when I started drinking. Let me see. Let me read you a small taste. Chapter 5, Meth Monster, from the book Meth Monster by Timothy Blaine. The story of a resurrected life. Chapter 5. It is an awful thing when a person... Let me turn the light on. Chapter 5. It is an awful thing when a person is reduced to defining their life by the drugs they take. But that is exactly what meth did for me. Try as I might, there is simply no way for me to minimize the impact with which crystal meth slammed into my life, at least not without straying far from the truth. It was like throwing a 40-pound sledgehammer through a plate glass window. Mind you, I was not going into this thing totally blind. I had been coveting this drug and obsessing about this drug for a full 2 years before I got around to actually trying it. I was hearing about it in AA meetings when they came dragging in. Of course, in the beginning, it wasn't such a bad thing. No, to the contrary. In the beginning, crystal meth seemed like the best thing that had ever happened to me. 3 or 4 days after I relapsed on alcohol, after I relapsed on alcohol. At that point, I didn't even drink. What did it lead to? You tell me. Okay. I found myself at a big dance bar in Hollywood. It was the weekend of the Gay Pride Parade, and the atmosphere was especially festive. I had been drinking every night since the day I gave up my sobriety. And by Sunday morning, I was very, very drunk. This particular bar was known for its all-day beer bust, which started promptly at 6 a.m. every Sunday morning. It was also the easiest place to find meth. Okay. I had been drinking for how long? Days for the parade, right? I was very, very drunk when I was introduced to crystal meth, or at least when I started doing it. I was drunk. I made that decision while I was drunk. I'm just trying to help you, girl. And that's where it all began. I was already drunk and obnoxious, so what the hell? I just walked up to the first dude I saw who looked like he was dancing a little too fast for the music. And the next thing I knew, we were sitting in his car doing the deal. And then not 10 minutes later, when I walked back into the bar, I had a sudden realization. I was no longer drunk. Just like that, I was in full control of my mind and all of my senses. There's another thing I think was very significant about this maiden voyage into the underworld of meth. From across the dance. Okay, that's about the first guy I met. Hold on. I want to digress here for a moment, because if there's one thing I don't want to do is to spark anyone else's curiosity about this or any other drug. To this day, I still struggle with the fact that I first heard about crystal meth in 12-step meetings. But I believe that the Lord is calling on me to tell the whole truth, and I intend to do just that. So if you are a person who is still struggling to stay sober, or if all this drug talk simply makes you uncomfortable, then hey, please turn the page, man, woman. That's what I would do. Ultimately, this book is about getting off drugs, not getting on them. That being said, those early party days on meth were admittedly a lot of fun. It seemed like I just literally danced right through the first few months. And then, just like with alcohol, there was a shift. That's the thing about what I call drug demons. At first, they just seem to do so much for you. And then, after they get you under their power, it's you that will do anything for them. One minute, I was spinning around on the dance floor just as free as an eagle in flight. And then, in what seemed like just a blink of an eye, I found myself sitting on the floor of a cockroach-infested, abandoned building, trying to find a vein. But in fact, my flight from the dance floor to the nasty floor took about a year. I was still doing the club scene when I started going to jail. Way back when I was what the hell? I think you get the point. Mm-hmm. I was still doing the drug. Wait a minute. I was still doing the club scene when I started going to jail. Way back when I was with David, I went to the county jail a few times, but now I was going all the time. I was what you would call a petty criminal at that time. And when I was arrested, 90% of the time, it was for shoplifting. The whole thing had gotten a lot more desperate. At first, I just needed enough money to score one time. Then I would sell and barter what little I had, to get more and more dope until I went to sleep 3 or 4 days later. Soon I couldn't sell any drugs. I was doing it all myself. And after I started shooting up, the party was essentially over. I didn't have time to be standing around in clubs. I needed $100 a day minimum to stay high. And, and as I began stealing more, jail became a second home. With each stint in jail, I came out knowing more and more of what I considered to be the real drug addicts. These were easily identifiable speed freaks. Many picked at their skin, wore dirty clothes, and for some reason, always seemed to be looking for something on the ground. There was still a lot of pretense, a lot of acting as if around the club scene. True, many guys still had jobs, cars, and apartments, but many more were just pretending they did. I know a lot of those guys were shooting up crystal just as much as I was, but talking about using needles was definitely taboo. The thing was, as long as you looked like you were holding it together, you could still find people who would give you drugs. For me, the final split between these two worlds came after a 5 or 6 day run with no sleep and very little food. I found myself pushing a shopping cart full of junk right past the front door of the most popular gay club in Hollywood, the very place where I first scored some meth and spent literally every weekend getting loaded ever since. Needless to say, they never have to worry about seeing my face in that place again. When a person gets down to this level of drug addiction, their whole value system has to change. This new crowd that I was meeting both in jail and on the streets was anything but pretentious. Absolutely no one had a job, and absolutely no one ever wanted one. Everybody had some kind of hustle. Some were dealers, others wrote checks, and some broke into cars and houses. Many, both male and female, were prostitutes. I myself was what the street folks call a booster, elsewhere known as a petty thief or shoplifter. This had always been what I reverted to whenever I needed money. When it came to boosting, I had always considered myself to be quite the pro. But one of the primary side effects of using meth, especially in the quantities I was using it, was it made one extremely paranoid. Imagine walking into a department store and trying to steal something when you're already convinced that everyone around you, including small children and little old ladies, was either a cop or the FBI. And then try to imagine this being your only source of income. The streets were never the streets were not a place where I ever chose to be. They were a place where I had to be. Maybe I wasn't as slick as I used to be, and I sure as hell wasn't as cute as I used to be, but I still needed money. And even more important than that, I needed drugs. Mm, mm, mm. That was the thing. Dope was more important than money. All money was good for was buying dope. In fact, my chances of getting ripped off were a whole lot greater when I used cash. And soon I came to realize that I could just bypass the money thing altogether. So at this point, I became the kind of addict that rarely, if ever, had any actual cash, but always had something to sell or trade. Believe it or not, I think I did better with the junk and stolen merchandise than the people spending money. In the streets, many of us, wait a minute, In the streets, many, if not most, people pick up a handle or street name. If a guy specialized in stolen credit cards, his name would likely be something like Credit Card Bob or MasterCard Mickey. If stealing cars was more up his alley, then it would be something like Tony Toyota or Convertible Connie. People had all kinds of strange names. It was just smart to use a handle because everybody knew that tweakers, people who use meth, are notorious snitches. The cops use snitches like most people use oxygen. It just didn't make sense to let too many people know your real name. I ain't gonna tell you my real name, my street name. Anyway, I've been there before. Mm-hmm. How y'all doing? I'm sorry for slipping off into preaching. I'm fearful for this girl. Y'all help me, but I don't know what you can do. You can't do shit. You can't do nothing to get somebody else sober. Your advice, my advice, it doesn't mean nothing, honey. You got to get to a point. You got to get to a point yourself where you're ready for God to bless you, to heal you. Right? You got to get there by yourself, honey. So if she still wants to get high, I guess she's not finished. She's not done yet, honey. You just hope that nothing happens to you. You don't get hit by a car or get tied up with the wrong person, honey, who will harm you, or you don't end up in prison. Many do end up in prison, and that's where they finish at, right? If somebody tries to rob you and you have a gun in the house, I was in that situation. You have a gun in the house, somebody tries to rob you, they hit you in your head with something, child. What you gonna do? You're gonna shoot him. Okay, he gonna be dead, and your ass is going to prison for the rest of your natural life. All that shit happens daily. Hi, Miss Tracy. How you doing? I'm feeling okay, girl. We got to get ready for Thanksgiving dinner. I don't know how I'm gonna get all this stuff in my refrigerator even, because they said, well, we don't have room to put these turkeys and shit, so we're gonna bring them over your house. Okay, I guess I got to get everything out of there and then throw it out. The name is Justin. Justin, why don't you just keep it simple? Just make it Justin so we know who you are. We ain't got to read these long names, man. What I don't understand is, how do you sell meth when you're addicted to meth? Why else would you, honey? The only reason I got involved with meth is because I was the meth addict. People will say, oh, well, Jay Wilson will say, oh, you're selling drugs to people. How can you just sell drugs to people? You was on drug dealing. Girl, I was a drug addict. That's why I was a drug dealer, right? It's the easiest thing in the world. Now, different drugs, people perform differently. Usually heroin addicts, heroin dealers don't do heroin. And crack dealers, most of them guys don't get high on their product. They know what it is. They know the destruction, right? But in the particular case of crystal meth, I never met any addicts, any crystal meth addicts, any dealers that weren't addicts. We were all addicts, right? It's just the characteristic of that particular drug. My uncle smoked crack and drink until his death. Yeah, sometimes people don't get away. It's very sad, honey. We've had people even in church, and you wonder, this guy's a good person. They tithe to the church. They're generous. I had a good friend like that, but he just couldn't get there. He just couldn't get to sobriety. Well, sometimes you have to use it. I had a therapist for 5 years. You have to use whatever. Use whatever is available to you. Just don't give up, right? So I had a therapist. I went to drug program. I went to transitional housing. I was in transitional housing for 5 years. My first 5 years of sobriety, I lived with other addicts, right? But you got to want it. It's got to hurt, right? Plus, at the end of my drug addiction, I was starting to get robbed, or at least the threat of rob. They never actually got anything. One time I got cracked in the head with a bottle, and the dude grabbed my backpack. What the fuck you grabbing the back for? You think I might have my drugs in the backpack? Whatever. But shit like that was starting to happen. There was violence was starting to happen, and I couldn't stay out of prison. Right? I was staying out of prison 3 or 4 months, honey. That was it, like it. I never was on the street for more than one holiday in a row. If I was out for Thanksgiving, I'd be back in jail by Christmas. So I just wasn't having a good time in there at all. And I cried out to God. God delivered me. The reason why I say God delivered me is because I don't go to 12-step. I don't go to no meetings. I don't do any of that shit, honey. Right? I just I'm sober by faith. I started to call this book Recovery by Faith. I thought the people would get turned off by it. Wait a minute. What do you understand is how you sell meth when you're addicted to meth? Where does the discipline come from? Not to, you can only use so much, honey. Plus, money is addictive. If you're actually making money selling drugs, you got to take care of your business, honey. You can't be laying around with your legs open all the time, right? If you're just an addict, you can just do that. Just do it. We used to do it sometimes 16, 17 hours. They just have sex, going from place to place to place, right? But if you have a business, you got to show up. So what happens to change, but the trade-off there is if you can show up, but then they're going to tell on you. Addicts are going to tell on you. They get stopped by the police, at least here in San Francisco, and the cop says, tell us where you got the drugs, and you let them go. You have to expect that. So if you're going to sell drugs, you got to accept you're going to jail. You get very suspect if you never get busted. You never go to jail because they all talk. Every time I went, because somebody told where I was at, and you got to keep moving all the time. It was exhausting. Tracy Reloaded, y'all signed up to Tracy Reloaded? She got a new channel. Go over there and subscribe. Am I going to cook? I don't know how to cook. No, I ordered prime rib dinner from Safeway. I ordered prime rib. I have it's only 6 people, but 2 of the guys, they're making, one's bringing one of those hams. You have to go to some kind of factory to get the ham. Honey baked. He's bringing honey baked ham and he cooks. So he's bringing sides. The dinner I ordered, the last time I ordered it, we didn't even use the sides to come with it, right? Because then Gamage, who is a sometime moderator here, he makes greens and yams, right? And desserts. So it's going to be way too much food here. So I tell them, bring your to-go plates, honey. Bring your containers, baby. Be quiet, Queenie. Hey, is there going to be a problem? You be quiet. You be quiet. Read the rest of my comment, please. Okay, I'll follow the instructions. Where does the discipline come from? Not to use your own stash of meth to sell. Why are you selling meth to buy meth? Why are you selling meth to buy meth? That don't make no sense, Justin. Use your own stash, honey. You do whatever your hit is, and that, I mean, you don't just keep. It's not like crack. Crack, you can sit there and smoke all night long, honey. Every 15 minutes, you'll do another hit and then start crawling on the ground and looking for little crumbs and peeking out the window, all that crazy shit, child. No, that's not the way that particular drug is. Right? You don't need to do it all. And I was buying quantity. If you did all that, you'd be dead. Yep, it's all about selling meth to buy meth. It's all, I mean, I can say that I made a lot of money in my last years selling drugs, but all the money went for is to buy more drugs, right? So I don't know how much actual profit there was. Yes, I had stacks and stacks of money, but most of that went to my dealers, right? And then a few times when I got busted, the cops would find the money. Other people in the hotel would know where I stashed it and all that kind of stuff. I never got ahead. It was basically about getting high. Don't think I'm saying anything that encourages that shit, honey. That is a life stealer. Mm-hmm. I wouldn't even know how. I don't even know how to cook. Now I bought my new stove, and I was making my dog chicken every day, so that I could at least use the stove. But since I stopped making him chicken and started giving him canned chicken, I haven't even used that damn stove. It's still new, essentially, except for the one burner where he got his chicken. Who's this brother? God deliver you is correct. If you call out to God, yes, Lord, it's so real. If you call out to God and you are ready, God will deliver you. Absolutely. That's the message. What's your name? Eve. I can't say your name. Eve. Eve has many faces. You are correct. It's something that I experienced, right? Even with all my struggle with religion and people and humans, nothing to compare to what I actually experienced with God. I know he's real. Mm-hmm. Nothing else that worked. And believe me, I had tried it all. Honey baked ham. Yeah, I like ham. I don't really like turkey, but he's bringing a turkey as well. Honey baked ham and a turkey. That's gonna be way too much food. Cause you still got the prime rib that I got. I only got prime rib because Safeway didn't have any ham this year. Not in the dinners, and they didn't even have hams to buy. You couldn't even buy ham. So I don't know what's going on in California, but there was none. In the stoves. Hi, Soul Sister number one. Wait a minute now. I'm getting confused. Soul Sister number one show is supposed to be 111. No, what's the other name? Let's see. Okay, Egyptian goddess is 1111. And something different about the way you say your name there. And Soul Sister is 488. Okay. Y'all make sure y'all check out these girls' channels. Right? Moderators, y'all remember now, all the ones that are stars in the YouTube beef sector, they all were moderators, right? Go ahead and build your stuff up. They took over, honey. All of them. That's where they got to start. That's how they got to know people. Mm-hmm. So, sister, you're going to gain 50 pounds. Oh, you need a shot of that Ozempic. It kills that appetite, honey. Uh-huh. I'm going to have all them leftovers and won't even be able to eat them. I told you the other day, YouTube is changing the names that. Wait a minute. What'd you say, Justin? YouTube is changing the names that use comma. Somebody took him down. He takes himself down a lot. YouTube has been going back and forth between username and URL name. Nobody in your chat is changing their name. Okay, this name just look different. Yeah, I hate the way all these electronic shit, they're constantly changing stuff. They are. It's subtle stuff. As soon as you learn one thing, then they move over to something else. Going back, okay. Now, Uncle Tim, ain't nobody trying to be in the beef sector as a content creator. Oh, really? TLC3? TLC3, no thank you, honey. Well, you're a smart woman, right? Let me get this light together. You're a smart woman. She said, nah, baby, I have things to do. But I'm just saying, like that people over there in Ness, she used to be over at Jay Wilson page all the time. Lemon used to be with, God damn it. What is it with these things? Okay, close it or open it. I gotta fix it in. Oh, ugly ass blinds. Okay. They remodeled my building a couple years ago and put all these modern blinds and shit in here. I have traditional taste. Whatever. The whole outside of the building got to look the same, you know. Who wants that headache, CLC3? People all up in your business, honey. Then you have, if you became a content creator, you got to deal with Jay Wilson. He gonna be all up in your family life and everything else, yeah. Jay Wilson is a content creator. Girl, whenever you're on here talking, that's your content, child. So we all content creators, yeah. Nikki B don't want to be one either. Well, some people are more ambitious about it, but I'm just saying that all the ones that are popular on here now in beef sector, they all started as a moderator. Thank you, Soul Sister #1 show. But y'all consider the holidays, honey, and consider a tiny cash app here and there, honey. Please. Y'all dried up on my ass, child. They see, but Timothy, you always talking about people shouldn't be begging. Well, how can you ask nicely? I am happy being on the outside looking in. Just enjoying yourself. Enjoy yourself. Enjoy yourself. Enjoy yourself with me. Enjoy yourself. Enjoy yourself. Enjoy yourself with me. You better enjoy yourself. You sitting over there staring into space while I feel like dancing, just dancing all over the place. Why do you worry about things that you can't control? Come on, boy, let's get it. Why the good deed of loving is hot. Let's have some fun. Let's have a good time, you and me. Sitting there with your eyes poked out, just sweet as you can be. Take that, Nikki B. Esther Rose 75. Snap. Oh, Tai. Ooh, I heard there was a Tai story last night, and I saw that my name appeared when he was in his video. So apparently last night, all of Tai's channel disappeared. He took it all down. He had gotten to some squabble with some woman. She threatened him. She sent him assist and deceased live online. Thais is a scary person. Anytime you mention anything about legal action or affecting his channel, you know, he always got to have a disclaimer in front and all that. He's very scary to somebody going to affect his channel, right? So she threatened him. He took his channel all the way down. Now, let me see. I believe it's all back up now. But he made a video explaining what happened last night. Hold on a minute. Thais report. Let's see what it says. Thais report is everything is back now. No, it ain't. His videos are still gone. All he has is the one he made 6 hours ago. And then he's got the people that he watches, but his videos are still gone. He got some playlists up here about music. Sometimes the hardest, this is what he put in his post. Sometimes the hardest part of growth is the pivot, choosing to turn away from dark energy, hateful people, and battles that drain your spirit. Pivoting isn't weakness. And he has a little picture of the pivot on there. So that was 2 days ago, before all hell broke loose. All hell broke loose. And he said it's another woman is threatening to sue his ass too. Mm-hmm. And he said that what I do, I could be sued, but it ain't worth nothing. I'm such a peon that's not worth suing me, he says, right? These people, Lord have mercy. He shouldn't be talking about who is mean and evil, because really, as far as some of the digs and things people do, he's one of the worst, Sonny. Oh, I don't do no health reads. I don't do health. Yes, you do, child. You talking about people's kidneys, about their bowels, about everything. Anyway, so it's nice that I'm not worthy to be sued. You can sue. I give you one of my statues. Just sat through 30 seconds of commercials. What? Lord, I just sat through 37 seconds of commercial on here. TLCN3. Am I showing commercials in my videos? Okay. I am Courtney has Thais shook. So her name is I am Courtney. Courtney, she sent cease and desist. She's saying, don't use my name. See, these people, I was there when Larry Reed told Larry Reed, I guess he's acting as Thais' mentor or something. He told him, just as long as you don't use their name, don't use their name, don't use their name. So he feels like he can say anything he wants to you as long as he doesn't use your name. In other words, the whatever kind of punk I am in San Francisco, the old punk in San Francisco, I shouldn't take that personally because he didn't use my name. Child, please. Ain't nobody using. There are no names on here, girl. All these people you think you know the name, they're not even the real name. Anyway, I heard when Larry Reed told him that, and he really believes that he can do anything he wants to do. You just don't use the name. That is so frustrating to me. I hate subliminals. I'm sorry. I just hate them, honey. If you're going to say something about somebody, say their name. Just say it. Say it out your goddamn mouth, or keep your mouth shut. Where's Squeenie? He right here. You right here, baby. The ding dong. Why are you scratching? Why are you scratching? I gave him his flea thing yesterday. Oh, we got the commercials. What commercials? Oh shit! Now, y'all got to tell me. Are y'all talking about commercials on this channel? I have no idea. I don't see them. Oh my God, the commercials are extra the fuck today. But get your coin on. No, I don't like that. Where's TLCN3? Started singing. Sweeney said, Yes, I am showing commercials. See what I mean about them constantly changing stuff? I have not requested no damn commercials on my live videos. I do the minimum of them on replays. So I don't know how to check that. Please accept my apologies. I hate commercials. Right? I got to do some just to get paid on here because y'all ain't giving me no money. So I got to do some. But that's all in the replay. Yes, you are showing commercials. God damn. You get commercials on your video. That's a new thing they're doing. They're putting the commercials in your, there's got to be probably a way to opt out of that. Because I don't even watch channels that have commercials. And I don't see any of them because I pay for premium, whatever. So I never know. We'll look into that. You can expect them to be gone next video. I don't think I can do it right now without messing just this thing up. Thais is a big sloppy bull. Oh, somebody don't like him. Thais is a big sloppy bully, and he always plays victim. But when someone cheeks his ass, he runs and hides. Uh-huh. He said, I'm kind. I'm gentle. I said, boy, you must not be paying attention. Start watching your own videos, honey. I don't think anybody's as nasty as your ass is. Okay, let me make a note. We got to check on that, on the commercials. I think it does more harm than good. And you don't really get much money from this stuff anyway. Check commercials. Commercials. There are some on the replay. And most people have, they don't see commercials, you know. There's got to be something on there that says you opt out, show commercials or don't show commercials or whatever. Like I said, they keep changing stuff, honey. As soon as you learn how to do everything, then they change it again. You've been getting them every few minutes. I'm so sorry. Let me see. Moderation, activity, timestamps, reactions, pop-up, feedback, community moderation. I don't know how I can access it. I got to do it offline. We'll see. They got tutorials on everything. You put in your search engine. How do I delete commercials and live stream? And they'll tell you how to do it. As long as I'm getting paid. Yeah, but in moderation though. I get very frustrated with a lot of commercials. That's why I don't have I got rid of my TV because I don't need it. I don't want to look at no commercials, period. So we'll see if we can dial that down, maybe a couple, but not all through the live. And now Thais is the stalker. He said y'all was stalking him. He thought Justin was stalking him last week. He is going from channel to channel asking people information who are in his chat. Oh, yeah, it's another thing. He's asking them for, they got to explain why they want to be on his channel. All these people, they got to explain and give information. And Jay Wilson, he wants you to, what do he want? He wants you to sign the NDA, girl, and give him your social security number. These people, they can't handle anybody giving them any kind of positive attention. They think they're stars. I think that must be what it is. He thinks your channel is so important, honey. Somebody gonna sit up there and give you information, tell you your address, tell you how you heard about my channel and all this shit, yeah. Just don't tune on. Wait a minute. Just don't tune on monetize until you're done with your video and no commercials. Well, that's what I've been doing for the last 8 years. St. James. I don't do after I finish the video, then I go to monetization and I take out half of the commercials they have in there, right? My understanding was that appears in your that appears in your replay, right? I wasn't even aware until they just told me that we even see commercials on live because I pay for was it premium? I don't see commercials, so I don't see any of them. So that's what I've been doing, but they've added something, obviously something new for the content creators to make money, I guess, right? I don't think you should burden people with a whole lot of commercials if you're only going to get an extra $10 a month, right? I just don't see that we make all that much money. And then when they put them in there to put the commercials in, they put, I mean, every 2 minutes there's a commercial. So I go in there and I take out every other one. We'll look into it. We'll see. Are people falling for that mess in 225? It's almost 226. Yes, really. He told the Thai squad not to send him any information anymore. But then he turned around and begged the Thai squad. There ain't no, whatever. To send him every information they had. They got to pass tests and all this stuff to be on his channel. All this because that woman gave him a cease and desist. That's a scary person. And you're exposed to people how scary you are. Then that's the way they're gonna come at you. That's gonna be the method. Oh, threaten him with getting his channel taken, threaten him with blocks and all this kind of stuff, child. If you're that affected by that, stop being so goddamn scary. So now you got all the Thai squad got to jump through hoops. He said, that dude over there, Uncle Tim, putting my picture up there and got monsters and shit up there. Jabba the Hutt is not a monster. That is a human being. You leave him alone. Larry Reed Live is. So now, what's the story with Larry Reed Live? Is he getting the numbers he used to get? Let me do a quick check here. It seems like there's something going on with him ever since Buddha did that expose on him. No, that's Thais report. Let's go with Larry Reed Live. Excuse me, just for a minute. Okay, so his last video, he got 6,000 views. He's got somebody on there. He's interviewing Darius Daniels. When he's just let's get see how much videos he's getting. All right, so he got 161,000 subscribers, and his last views were. He's still doing okay. He got okay. He does a lot of interviews and involving other people. Sure, damn, he got a big page. Yeah, he's still getting 6,000 and 7,000. So I guess he's doing okay. Something has happened though, but at least he's back in the country. Thais always let it be known he's afraid of being sued. Yeah, all that shit. They got a big old banner in the beginning. All the attitudes or the personality, all this stuff, child. You don't need all that shit, girl. What are you scared of? Be a man. Larry video, but can't because it's just too boring and slow. Well, his content is not attractive to me. But when he interviews people and so forth, I mean, he's still good at the game. I thought he was broke, but I don't know. But even 6,000 views on here, that's not very much. Not enough to keep you in Rolls Royces. So we don't know. For some reason or other, though, he hooked up with. Do y'all know what happened there? Why he hooked up with almost totally with Thais? He used to be over there with Conscious TV. Thais went over and stole him, and now they're biggest thieves. Right? I don't know what that's all about. I don't see anything spectacular happening over there with Thais, except he's easily manipulated. Right. He's easily manipulated. You go over there, give him some compliments, just like Donald Trump. You give him a couple of compliments, tell him that he is got the talent and all that shit, and he just falls for it. Becomes your slave. Ooh, my throat is gone. Hold on, I gotta take me a Ricola. Ricola. Then I got to get and dust all this shit in this apartment. You know how the queens are, honey. Ooh, I saw dust on his statue. Ooh. No, one thing about Timothy, he clean. Tai says someone doxed him in his own chat last night, but I did not see. They didn't dox him. They sent him a cease and desist. Larry didn't tell him his song. Y'all remember Larry Reid had a song? Cease and desist letters off of punks. Oh, glory. Cease and desist letters. They are for punks. Always talking stuff. I mean, you just don't get enough. Hallelujah, God. That's my interpretation. Mm-hmm. Some of that stuff can be done online. You can send somebody a cease and desist letter, but some of it is actually coming from attorneys. The other girl, who was the second girl, Justin? The one he's been in conflict with. He said that she had contacted him legally 3 times. Yeah, she's already on that ass. And they scare him. Never let them see you sweat, honey. Mm-hmm. Nobody doxed him last night as well. He took a picture of it with his phone. Okay. They will let you know how they got connected if they never fall out. They give their life story whenever they fall out. These people crazy. Honey, people want to go see Beyonce. They don't got to put out no questionnaire, honey, and explain why you over here. And explain this and explain your address. What area are you from? Girl, please. You're living in your own brain, child. You're something that you're saying. He gonna chase all them fools away too. They're gonna get sick of that crazy ass shit. Right? I'm giving you my money, and now I got to give you all this information about me. You should be giving me your information. What are you doing for me lately? What have you done for me lately? Hey. Ooh. I mean, the nerve to be demanding this stuff from these people, these subscribers, child, when they're the one keeping your ass afloat, and you over here telling them how you got your own money. I don't need nothing from nobody. Nobody does nothing for me. Look what I got. Look what I got. All that old bullshit, child. Right? You're throwing it up in their face, but it's their money. They're the ones keeping you. You should be more grateful. That girl shook him up so bad, he went and took his whole channel down. Damn. I thought Left Behind said his own government name when he and Jives got into it. He corrected Jives and told Jives. He said his name. What's his name? John or something like that? Like it's a big deal. We don't give a fuck what your name is, child. This is my real name on here. I ain't scared of these people. Don't live your life like it. God is not giving you a spirit of fear. That don't come from God. Mm-hmm. All right, you wonderful peoples. Y'all need to go make sure you got them houses clean if you have guests coming over. Mm-hmm. For Thanksgiving dinner. Clean them stoves, them ovens and things, in case somebody look in there. Thank y'all for coming in on today. And I'll look into this commercial thing on the live. I'll see if I can fix it later.